Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers and big up to anybody new locked in. Gratitude to everybody. I've been wanting to make this video for some time now. It's very important to me. It's a very special topic, and that is the city of Philadelphia. Now, ironically, I haven't actually been to Philadelphia, but it feels like I have. You know what I mean? From a boxing standpoint, when I look at that city and how important it is to the sport, and what fighters have come out of there, what trainers have come out of there, and what history has come out of there, and just the sheer energy and attitude and brotherly love. That's the city of brotherly love. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the Boots Ennis fight, because he's from Philadelphia and he's got a homecoming pretty soon. I'm going to talk about some of the legendary coaches from there, or fighters from there, trainers from there, and just the essence and spirit of that city, because it's so important to boxing and it's so important to me. When I moved to America, I couldn't stop thinking and watching and following that city. Even though I moved to New York, Philadelphia just had this resonation with me, and I wanted to share my thoughts in this video with a little bit of music and a little bit of boxing history. Let's go.
I would like the boxing to go back to the way it was, you know, back to the way it was in the 80s, really, you know, when you didn't have all these monopolies on you know, different promoters that won't let their guy come and fight on their side of the street or that side of the street. When the best fought the best. I want to see the best fight the best.
Boxing.
Okay, so Philadelphia, really just one of those magical cities in America, in the world really, for boxing, where it just has this mystique about it. You have your quintessential Philly fighters like Benny Brisco, you know, who is sought to just have that aggressive, come forward, throw a lot of punches, outman you, tough you, never quit. You know, he was even backing Marvin Hagler up for most of the fight. I'll pull up some clips as I'm talking, as I'm just going to ramble about certain fighters and certain trainers, and you know, even certain defensive moves like the shoulder roll.
3, 4.
Which, you know, with Boots Ennis coming up, obviously this is about him as well. He's got a spectacular shoulder roll that partly came from Philadelphia, from Georgie Benton, who was a fighter from the 50s and 60s, who was one of the pioneers of that. And I'll show you clips right now where he was fighting Reuben Hurricane Carter, which is the movie that Denzel Washington was in, where, you know, Georgie Benton is like just slipping and sliding, countering. I mean, that is an iconic style.
If there's a fight at the ball game, they forget the ball game.
You know, the Philly shell and the shoulder roll, which is a part of the Philly shell system, which is a counter-punching system normally, but Boots Ennis obviously comes forward with it. He can switch hit.
Ennis focusing his attack on the body as Lipinets just misses on that beautiful left hook, right uppercut combination.
He's got power in both hands. He's got a beautiful jab. He's got a great shoulder roll. He's got a mean uppercut, which Avanesian is probably going to feel the wrath of that uppercut, because he's an aggressive fighter. He comes in with the high guard like that, a little bit of head movement, but I can see Boots Ennis catching him with an absolutely vicious uppercut. But yeah, Georgie Benton, Philadelphia legend, trained Pernell Whitaker for a little bit. Actually, also was under the tutelage of Eddie Futch, and sadly got shot and had to end his boxing career after that. But you know, he was somebody like that I often go back to and watch some of the clips, and I'm like, wow, amazing, what an amazing fighter, and you know, and a great trainer as well. And obviously when you get the tutelage from Eddie Futch, it's amazing. And then you have Philadelphia, like there's just something unique about them, as Bernard Hopkins was saying, you know, 2 of the 3 fighters that beat Marvin Hagler are from Philadelphia. Now, you know, when you're fighting a Philly fighter, you know you're in for a rough night. Win, lose or draw, you know they're going to come to win, and they're going to come to put everything on the line and not quit and keep gunning for you. And that to me is a very special hallmark. And I do wonder if it's so ingrained in them that you almost have to follow suit, where you have to be tough, where you can't not quit. You know, this is like the DNA is almost forged into a positive nature, where it's like some cities might not care as much about quitting, or might not ridicule fighters as much about not trying to win. But I think in Philadelphia, it's a prerequisite to go out there, be tough, try to win, and, you know, do the best you can and give it your all, and be a savage in there. And that's why I love the city so much, amongst other reasons, because there's a high amount of skill that comes out of that city as well. But it's, you match them both together and you get a Philly fighter, and that's, you know, one of the many reasons I look closely at that city. And I haven't been there yet, as I mentioned, but I would love to go. I'd love to go check out maybe a local fight or something like that, have a Philly cheesesteak. Shout out to anybody that's from Philadelphia. You know, apparently there's, I've had 1 or 2, but not from Philadelphia, the cheesesteaks. You know, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but if I have a good one, you never know. You know, I was in New Orleans not that long ago, a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, I had a muffaletta. Those sandwiches are really good. Anyway, this isn't a travel show. Back to the boxing, but one of my favorite fighters of all time, he's just a legend to me. I made a video called The Dying Breed, and actually the track in the beginning, and I'll play it on the outro, is a track I made called The Dying Breed, where I just had an idea of just a city, you know, just like a cold city at night time, a tough city, you know, like Philadelphia or New York to a lesser extent, especially these days, but just a hard city. And just I wanted the beat and the trumpets and the saxophone to kind of embody that. Hopefully it did. But Gabe Rosado, A Dying Breed, I'll leave the link up here for that video. I made one for him. I've made a few others as well. I made one about Paulie Malignaggi, Breadman, Amanda Serrano. I just think they've all got this, you know. And if you got this, and you're also a dying breed like Paulie Malignaggi in New York City, you know, I think he's like the new breed of New Yorkers that are coming in, and the new breed are just different. That's all I mean, you know. And it's Jarrell Miller spoke about that actually. You know, he's a dying breed in New York as well, to be honest with you. But I'm losing my train of thought. I was going back to Gabe Rosado, right? This is one of the reasons. Watch this clip. He's fighting Golovkin, right? It's about the 6th or 7th round, and he's in the corner. You can barely see. He's got one eye. He's fighting his heart out. He's getting beaten up. Golovkin is a savage, was a savage at that time. Gabe Rosado moved up in weight. Nobody wanted to fight Triple G. And Gabe Rosado says this to his cornerman.
Oh man, we got too big. Huh? No, we got too big. No. What do I do? Jet, you gotta get inside with this guy. Got it, man. You gotta get inside with him. Bang, 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 and turn him. Get inside, get your jaw shots off, grab his handlebar and turn him. I know. You want me to stop it? No. Want me to stop the fight, champ? No, don't stop it. You want me to stop it? No. Want me to stop the fight, champ? No, don't stop it. It's hard to see. Listen, point that angle. Give me that half man.
And his cornerman, by the way, Billy Brisco, also from Philadelphia, from Badlands. That's what he was saying, that the government gave them that name because it was such, you know, Badlands.
You know, I'm from a real bad neighborhood. I might look like it, but I'm from a city, the part of the city called the Badlands, and the federal government gave us that name. I didn't give it to us. You know what I mean?
But, you know, he's a product of that environment, and I love listening to his interviews, you know.
But they want to keep me in the gym, and they started teaching me how to train people. Like, you're going to do this, now 15-year-old kid training grown ass man. That's, you know, I wasn't really sure about myself, but they were just do it. And I was able to do it. Like, I remember when I had to train a guy for a pro debut. So I asked my mentor, I said, Mr. West, how hard I got to train a guy for a 4-round fight? So he starts laughing. I said, oh, I'm sorry. He said, no, I'm not laughing at you, Billy. I'm laughing at you think you need to train a guy exceptionally hard for a 4-round fight. He said, if he's a good liver outside of the gym, he's in the gym on a relative basis, he'd ever walk off the street and fight 4 rounds. And I found that to be beyond true.
Because he's a boxing man as well, just a through and through hardcore boxing man. And he's saying to him, "You want me to stop the fight, champ?"
You want me to stop? No. You want me to stop the fight, champ?
He's like, no.
You want me to stop? No. You want me to stop the fight, champ?
No, don't stop it.
No, don't stop it. I can't see though. What do I do? What do I do? Don't stop it. He's like, sure? Yeah, no. Just tell me what to do. I mean, wow. Golovkin as well. Go back out there and fight Golovkin. You know, he did his best, but you know, that's one of the many reasons I love Gabe Rosado. He's just an animal, an absolute animal. Never ever quit, no matter under whatever circumstances. And I think they ended up throwing the towel in as well for him. But that's another embodiment of a Philadelphia fighter. Joe Frazier, you know, come forward, tough guy. Just skill set too, nice head movement, but throwing hard shots, trying to hurt your opponent. Got wins over Muhammad Ali, obviously. Heavyweight world champion. You know, I'm trying to think of more off the top of my head from Philadelphia. I'll go through, obviously, Bernard Hopkins. He had that middleweight run. 20 defenses of his title. Linear champ at light heavyweight. You know, he was just a tremendous fighter. Obviously lost his first fight, came out of prison. Remarkable story. A lot of the remarkable stories come out from Philadelphia. That's why. There's a couple of cities in America. Obviously the Midwest is quite a special little area, which is where I was born. Just in case you wanted some random fact of the day. I was born in Ohio. And Ohio, Cleveland. You know that Cleveland's in Ohio, but like the Midwest, right around there, that's another little special area. Maybe I'll do one of these on that to list some of the fighters. I'm pretty sure Aaron Pryor was from over there. Obviously Floyd Mayweather was from Grand Rapids, Michigan. James Toney, I'm quite sure he's from over there. I mean, there's many other fighters I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but I will do some research and I'll do a separate one on that with some music and with some highlights and stuff. But Benny Brisco, I'm getting them confused. Benny Brisco was a true fighter from Philadelphia who embodied and the quintessential Philadelphia fighter, and he was chasing Marvin Hagler around the ring for, you know, basically the whole fight. Imagine that. That's how tough he is. Come forward, charge you down, bully you, beat you up, take shots, never quit, keep going, never stop. Philadelphia fighter. So back to Boots Ennis. Big night for him on July. I think it's the 17th, but he's fighting David Avanesian, tough guy, you know, tough Russian. Lost to Bud Crawford.
Yeah, and even Avanesian's punch out, but it's starting to come down now. It's running a little bit. Crawford's taking it up the gears. Nice.
Oh, what a right hand from Terrence Bud Crawford, flat on his back. He knocked him out. The king is still on top of his game.
Will that play a part in the up and coming fight? Will he want to get rid of Avanesian earlier? I think it was somewhere around the 7th that Bud got rid of him. But he's kind of tailor-made for Boots Ennis, and I feel like an uppercut is on the cards there. You know, Boots Ennis has got a tremendous uppercut.
Lipinet's guard, and then in the first half of this 12-round affair, and John with the left hand drops. Lipinet's no
Switch hits. He's got tremendous power in both hands. He's got a beautiful jab. Actually, a stab jab to the head, to the stomach, both hand, either hand. I mean, he's just almost the perfect fighter. I'd love to see him in some adversity, as I mentioned, but you know, that time will come. But he's going to be active right now, and that's great for the sport, because we want the best fighters in the sport to be as active as they can, because before we know it, Bud Crawford's going to be out the game, Canelo's going to be out the game, and we're going to look at these younger fighters that are coming through to, you know, fly the flag, which they already are a little bit, but to have them fighting at least 2 times a year, and they want that. And having Eddie Hearn come in, I think, was a good move, because he was just like, how in the world can you not bring this guy to the hometown? How is he not fighting?
We went on sale yesterday. We had 4,500 tickets. That's all we had on the pre-sale. We sold them out instantly. How on earth has Boots Ennis not boxed or headlined in Philadelphia? It's absolutely crazy. I don't understand it. Is it laziness? Is it you want to keep him in a box?
It's just a mystery. Why? It's like having a star player on your team just on the bench for no reason. It makes absolutely no sense. But I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to do plenty of editing on this video as I was talking, and hopefully it makes sense. But hopefully you got a gist of just how passionate I am about this city that I would love to go to soon. You know, I really would. And me and my missus have talked about it, and we've talked about going other places too, and it never happened. But this one's easy to do. We can just drive straight down and, you know, maybe take a little selfie at the Rocky Steps, which is another iconic part of Philadelphia, iconic movie. You know, there's so much rich history. I could probably go on and on. I probably missed a lot. So fill in the gaps, if you will, if you know anything about this city that I didn't mention. Any fighters that you want to bring up in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. And any fighters that are up and coming now that I didn't mention, because I'm trying to think of ones off the top of my head. You know, I know Tevin Farmer had a little run, and he's from Philadelphia. And I know Greg Hackett actually is worth a mention. He's not a fighter now. He was a fighter, but watching some of his videos, his breakdowns are legendary. You know, I know he's like a trainer now, I think, but man, his YouTube channel, you just listen to him. He's funny, but he's highly astute with his boxing breakdowns. I love watching him talk about boxing. But that's it from me. You know, I hope it made sense. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I can't tell you how grateful I am for you and the fact you took time out to watch it. Blessings, man. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Boxing on the edge.
Philadelphia has such so many great fighters. I mean, you got to put Jack Blackburn in there. You got to put Georgie Benton. You got to put obviously you got to put my mentor, the late great Mr. Wesley Moulton. You got to put Joe Frasier, obviously. Bernard Hopkins, Joey Giardello, Tommy Locker in the Philly Phantom, perhaps one of the greatest pure boxers the game has ever seen, but there's no film on him from the 20s. A lot of great fighters. A lot that unfortunately didn't make it, you know what I mean?